legends. Thanks for tuning in again. Atron reporting to you with another episode of MINO bombing without a PD. Now I've had a quick look through the bases already, and I just want to focus on some of the drop pointers that I want to give you guys. I'm rocking a 3 vite set on MINO. Now I do have a 5 vite to put on him, but I'll go into the explanation once we hit the base, but it's just a little bit of a buffer. Him sitting at the damage he's on, with my War God and my Victory Lunge, even at a 3 vite, and you've got to include Mike and Cupid procs. So they're, Mike, Cupid, and Minnow, they're the 3 damage buffers. So with all 3 of those and everything that Minnow has on him, at the moment he'll do 242k damage, right? So the reason why I don't need to put it any further up to a 5 vite is, one, if Cupid doesn't proc on a base, like he still needs to hit the building, and if for some reason he runs into a magic tower and he doesn't proc and your Minnow procs on that 5 vite, you're missing that boost from Cupid, and that's crucial if you're not using a PD. So that's why I'm rocking a 3 vite on him. One, I don't need the extra damage because putting the 5 vite on him is not going to do anything. It's not going to destroy the Town Hall, which is 280k damage. So at a 3 vite, he's still going to destroy everything except a Town Hall and a level 7 arrow tower if they're maxed, which has 255k health. So he's going to destroy an arrow tower that has level 6. So we'll see if there's any level 7s in this. I don't think there will be from my first look, but we'll check it out anyway. Most of them seem to be magic, and magic towers will all die. No stress. So this is the lowest of the bases. I'm going to start at the lowest ones. Now they do have a GS, so generally what I want to do is wait till all 4 are up, and then I'm going to drop Nub so he takes the aggro. Now I'm going to go back into this again, sorry guys. So he takes the aggro from the wall flyers, so they all race to him. Now you only need like 6 seconds to do this, right? So it's not really hard, but the idea is with a 3 vite, you're not as much relying on Minnow being a little bit away. Like he can still hit the building once, he's not going to destroy it. Or you place Minnow like on a 3 building, so if he does hit it, and destroys 1 building, he's still got another 2 to proc on, so it's not a huge deal. So that GS is going to be flying up, and you try and figure out where she is closest on the base, and you just drop Nub closest to that. So they don't look like they have many debuffers. Like they do have an Anubis in there, so you really don't want him to proc, because he'll lower the damage of all your heroes. But other than anything else, it looks pretty good. So the idea is I'm going to drop Minnow up here after I drop Nub here. I'm going to drop Mike, and that's fine. That's just gonna buff him, and then I'm going to drop Cupid purposefully on this one here. Reason being is if you drop him on the very outer edge, he will immediately attack the smaller like border. So they've got a longer border on the army camp, so you got to like kind of fly in. So I always recommend trying to drop Cupid on a building like that with a small border. Anyway, that's a little bit of a more detail than I kind of needed to go into, but I just wanted to kind of break that down as to how I look at a base. All these are really simple because I've got so many buildings around the outside, but how I actually look at a base and judge how I'm going to drop. So, alright, we're just going to go for this. We got Nub, Minnow, Mike, Cupid. So 95%, perfect, and then of course DD is just going to finish off that Town Hall. There wasn't any arrow towers or anything like that. Yeah, so that's that's kind of more of an in-depth drop as to what you should do and why you use a 3 vite over a 5 vite. If I'd used a 5 vite, for example, in that, and Minnow had just, I didn't place him further enough away from the building, and by the time I dropped everyone and got to Cupid, if he dropped, a 5 vite Minnow, yeah, he would have done damage, but one, he wouldn't have destroyed many buildings, or he would have destroyed just enough, over 50%. So this this base is exactly the same, idea. So you just look for the GS. Oh, this guy's got a burning plate on his PD. Look at that. Happy days. So he looks like he might be in attack mode. He's got nothing going on. No hard heroes or anything like that. So same thing applies. Always just drop that Nub to lower any troops or take aggro for the first part. So we've got Nub, we've got Minnow, we've got Mike and Cupid on a small building. So, and 100%, okay, so his town hall must have been, it must have been Town Hall 24, because a Town Hall 24 only has 230k health, so it would have just destroyed it all in one go. Wasn't it max Town Hall? Generally, you can tell that by the number of army camps, but some people do choose to not build them. So, same thing again, guys. See how all the army camps on the outside here? That's fine for Minnow, proccing on that, but you definitely want to save these smaller border ones for Cupid, because it's just safer. If any of those, some of these bases, like these bases are fine, but if some of them have magic towers really close, and say you hit to hit that mana thing there, for example, you're going to be really close to those magic towers. So being, you know, that close and having your Cupid maybe stunned and not letting off his proc is going to be the difference between you getting your necessary Minnow, you know, smashing potential in comparison to everything. So there is a GS in this base. So the idea is we're going to drop Nub probably down here, and then actually we're going to drop Nub at the top because GS is located on the top of this base. So while she's getting all there, Nub will still be the closest person. So even if the other ones die, they're going to be racing up to the top and, you know, hitting Nub, and everyone else can kind of walk freely, so it's not an issue. So, you know, Nub's going to drop there. We're going to drop Minnow in the corner here. He's going to walk in. I'll drop Mike on, you know, this wall here because I'll be going up to drop Cupid there in the same movement. So we'll go through. Happy days. Minnow drop, Mike and Cupid. So, or if they've got a Nick, guys, like, I didn't come to my mind just then, but if they've got a Nick, for example, or a DD, and maybe one of the downsides of placing that 5-Vite Nub is they will proc on your heroes, and, you know, that same thing as a Magic Tower stunning, and maybe not having that Cupid proc straight away, is one of the downsides to that 5-Vite Nub. I've been caught out a couple of times having the 5-Vite Nub, you know, have that Cupid stunned by a Nick or a DD, and then it not actually having that full potential. So I think this is the top guy here. Yeah, if you see an army camp with max troops or max guardians, it's a 5-Vite Nub or a Nub proccing, regardless if it's 5-Vite, you can get him to proc, is going to kill them all. So you don't have to worry about one army camp, two army camps. You know, you might not get them all, but one, you're definitely okay. So plenty of stuff to proc on here, guys. Nothing major. Try and keep your Cupid and your Minnow as further away from magic towers as possible, if it relates. So now we've got a Nick and no GS. Pretty simple stuff here, guys. So it's going to be another easy, just round the world drop. Yeah, so Minnow, Mike, and Cupid on something really close. So everyone died, and, you know, I don't want to use gems, so we just dropped DD. That tower had almost no health. To my calculation, it would have had, 30k health. So, and then we got the last one here, guys. Once again, this is why I'm just taking a bit more time on this video, because I did go through the bases before, there's nothing super crazy. This one I did want to highlight, it's just why it actually brought to my mind. This building over here is a perfect building with a short border for Cupid to proc on. So the idea here is that Minnow is going to be proccing on something over here, because you don't want to be facing him up against a DD and magic towers. He would probably lose out on his, you know, all the stacks. Mike lasts for 8 seconds, 6 seconds, something like that. You know, Cupid's for 8 or 6 or 10 seconds, I can't remember. But, you know, try and keep your Minnow away from stackers, and then your Cupid is your final that needs to hit a building. So Mike, obviously, being 5-Vite, he can just drop wherever. So once again, no troops on this one. The idea here is I'll be dropping Nub in the corner, lowering a bit of damage. Just, it might help. I generally just do it anyway because it allows me to just drop Minnow, Mike, and Cupid in sequence then. It just becomes a bit easier. So the idea is Nub will be dropped probably over here. We're going to put Cupid, or Minnow, sorry, right here on the edge, so he has to walk over. And he'll also be kind of, or if you drop him here and so he hits this last one there, is the idea, because you want to try and keep away from any magic towers, or as far away from magic towers as you can. So let's roll and do this last one. So we've got, Minnow, Mike, and Cupid. So yep, that didn't work out because he got Aries. If he wasn't going to get Aries, that it wouldn't have been a problem. And he still would have smashed, and I could have cleaned up, no worries. So unless the heroes actually had damage reduction on them, which they don't, so that's another thing you might want to keep looking for. If they've got like a pony on them, probably avoid that side with your minnow, because that's the last thing you want to happen. So alright, the other option is, we're just going to do the same thing, guys. So drop Nub, drop Minnow, Mike, Cupid, and he got Aries again, so he's not getting a lot of damage, a lot of room here. So I might drop, what I might do is might aggro, must be an Aries totem close by, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to aggro Nub here on these guys, and I'm going to drop Minnow, at the bottom, so he can just walk straight in, and the same thing will apply, so they should go up. Minnow will attack this army camp here, and then, the other ones just go up the side as well. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, Cupid's there. Oh no, stun. Nope, didn't work. So the good thing about this is that that Minnow can't, once you've dropped them all, it's alright to kind of leave it. If they die, they die. If you've checked all the list off and they don't have anything debuffing, there's not going to be any issues, because once he procs, he will proc at that maximum amount, and you're safe to say that your Minnow will do enough damage. So same thing applies, guys. He should smash this away if they allow him. Nope, so I'm going to bail out because he didn't have the mic proc on him anymore, which is the issue you've got to look into, and you've got to make sure why, you try and keep him away from those stun towers, because it is important that he stays away. So the other thing is you can just bring troops and stack them behind, which might be a smarter idea to do than wasting the risk, but we're all about the risk here. So he only needs one little proc, 94%. Happy days. Took a little while to get there, but once it drops, the DD is an easy cleanup. Now, if the heroes are going to be an issue for any reason, or you don't see it at 90%, just wait for all the other heroes to die. If you're pretty safe to say that your DD is going to clean it up, and then your Nick is definitely going to clean it up, you put him in the far corner so he procs at least 2 or 3 times walking over there in 12 seconds. That's the idea. So pretty easy guild wars. What's everyone else ranking at the moment? Nothing crazy. Not super high targets this time round. So that's pretty much it, guys. If you've got any questions or any issues with potential drops, happy to try and answer them if I can. Until next time, I suppose. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and enjoy.